Hi guys, how's it going? So I was at Sturgis at the rally here this time last week, and I picked up a product for my Indian Thunderstroke 111, my Chieftain, and it is a KandP Engineering stainless steel Micronic oil filter. Made in the USA, model S1 for the Thunderstroke 111 engine. And this filter is pretty trick in that it's cleanable and reusable. So you're not chucking your old oil filter in the garbage every time. You're just cleaning it out and reassembling it and putting it back on. There's some real advantages to this thing. This filter is said to flow 7 times more oil than your stock filter. And it has some oil cooling benefit in its design with the heat sink, kind of a hefty piece of aluminum that has these fins on it for more surface area, so it does help cool your oil a little bit. And it's said to flow so well that it reduces any bypass operation, so that the oil your engine is getting has actually been filtered, and like I say, 7 times more flow. So, you know, that's quicker cycling and more passes through the filter, so potentially a lot cleaner oil. It provides faster oil pressure at startup, reduces your oil pump drag for potential mile per gallon gains, and magnetic pre-filtering. There's a magnet, neodymium magnet, right there, that little shiny spot. You don't have that in your other oil filter. And you can, the neat thing too is when you change your oil, you'll see what kind of contaminants are in your filter. And I usually cut my filters open on like my diesels and stuff. I cut them open and look them over real good, because I want to see if there's any kinds of metal or anything in there that I can see with my naked eye. I also do oil. I have the oil analyzed, and so this is pretty nice in that you can see what's in the filter, what's being trapped in the filter. It says it's got a burst pressure of over 1,000 psi. It meets or exceeds any factory unit filtration, and it's also approved, if you have an aircraft, they make these for aircraft, FAA approved. So it's an environmentally friendly filter in that you're not throwing something in the trash, you're cleaning and reusing. So to take it apart, you just press down on that, turn this about a quarter turn, and then out comes the filter element. And the filter element is 304 stainless steel screen. They call it a screen cloth, and it's glued into place with an adhesive down in here. That adhesive is good for well over 600 degrees, which your engine should never get anywhere near that hot. Bypass, spring-loaded bypass valve in the event that your engine is so filthy that it plugs it up. And the easy thing, it's an easy thing to clean. All they say to do is to go ahead and go in here with some, put it in the solvent tank if you want, but shoot through here with brake clean until this is all washed off. The crud collects on this surface, and so you shoot from the inside out and wash that all out, and then blow it out with some compressed air, and then it's just a simple matter of dropping it back into the housing here and locking it back in. Once it's locked in, it won't come out. You have to push down on it to get it to come out. So and then of course this is screwed onto the spud on the engine, so it's drawn tight into this deal, so there's no way it can come apart when you're underway. These O-rings are a 4-sided ribbed affair, and it says that they're actually good for up to 5 oil changes, which is pretty cool. And they give you, I got 3 extra ones in my kit. I don't know if that was a Sturgis buy it at our booth kind of a deal or not. These cost at Sturgis $149. I would assume they're a little bit more through the distributor, and then of course you probably have to pay shipping. But it's beautifully made, it's beautifully machined, and it has it's got like some kind of, I don't think that's roll stamping. That looks more like it was possibly laser engraved on there, their name on there. And it just looks super quality, really nice finished out nice heft to it, got a nice feel to it. It's a nice oil filter. And so if you want to get one of these, you can contact USAOilfilters.com at their website. I would assume you can buy this on their website. I've not been to this website, but their phone number's right there for you. And if you, at the same time, you want to lay in a few more of these O-rings, that's part number QRI, Queen Robert Ida, and they will supply as many of those as you want. I'm also told that that O-ring is available on Amazon. So it comes with a wrench, an oil filter wrench. The kit comes, in this tube. You get a sticker, and you get some instructions, and you get this wrench. And this very first rib here has flats on it. So when you go ahead and put that on there, the way that's designed is it's designed to not mar up the housing, so the wrench goes right onto those flats, and that gives you your ability to put a ratchet on there to get it on and off. So, and you just install it like any other oil filter. I don't think there's anything tricky about it at all. So, I'm going to go put this on my Thunderstroke 111. I'm going to take you along with me. So stand by. Alright, so there's my bike. This is my Chieftain. This is a 2015. And I've got almost 25,000 on it now. Done a lot to it. Put this Corbin trunk on here. Had Roach pinstriping. Monty Roach, pretty well-known pinstripe guy, do the stripes and the name. This is Two Dogs. He did the tank. I've got the cams, the True Dual exhaust, and the high performance air intake. He did the front fender, striped the front fender. It's got 50 caliber and 45 caliber badass bullets on it. Those are the 24 karat gold ones. That's just a lot of accessories, a lot of stuff I've done to this bike. So yeah, I really love it a lot. It's a great motorcycle. I can't complain at all. It's been wonderful. The only thing that's ever happened to it is I blew a voltage regulator on it about, I don't know, less than a year I think after I bought it. And that was warranted, and it hasn't been back to the shop since. I do all the maintenance and service myself, so it's only been in the shop that one time several years ago. So she's going to be 6 years old this summer. 6 years old right now, actually. And so, yeah, still looks like the day it was new. I keep it pretty shiny, pretty clean, and I've ridden it a lot. So I spent 10 days riding it at Sturgis, put 1,200 miles on it in the Black Hills. Had a ball. Met up with a bunch of people that I knew and just had a great time. So anyway, here's the deal. If you got one of these, the oil filter is down here in the front. I'm going to get some light still. Hang on one second. Let me get some light going here. So here's the oil filter right here. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to try to get this other one on as quick as possible. I don't know how much oil is going to want to fly out of there. I know definitely some. I'm going to catch it, and then I'm just going to replace what I lose with new oil. And because I don't want to wait another 2,000 or 3,000 miles for to put this filter on it, because I think it's probably a pretty slick filter, and it probably has some real advantages for the bike. So I'm gonna just do it, and if I lose some oil, I'll just replace it, and that's the way it goes. So the main reason I'm even filming this is so if you get the hair to buy one of these things and you want to put it on, you'll see what I went through to get it on here with the engine still filled full of oil. So we're not pulling the drains, we're not doing an oil change, we're just going to put the new filter on. So let me go get a drip pan and my oil filter wrench and that kind of thing, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the filter wrench that comes with the new one does not fit this factory one, but I have one that does, that I have had, because this is all I've ever used, is these factory ones. I'm just gonna slowly crack this loose so that I can kind of get ready for what is gonna happen next. And that's been one of my beefs with this factory filter, is that none of the wrenches fit it very well. And this one's not fitting it either, so hang on, I gotta figure out something else. Alright, I've got this one. I think is actually the one I've used in the past to do my oil. I have one generator, auxiliary power plant. Yeah, that's the one. Auxiliary power plant, and I think I had the oil filter wrench for that. Okay, so it's moving now. I'm not going to go any further than that. I just went maybe a half a turn. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get the other oil filter, the new oil filter, ready to go so I can quickly exchange the two. Okay, so I got my new filter right here ready to go. I've face oiled the O-ring on it. And here we go. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm assuming we're going to get quite a bit of oil, would be my guess. It's starting to drip a little now. The other filter handy, ready to go. Here goes. Going. Now the motor's cold, right? So I was hoping we'd get as little loss here as possible. Just going to quickly ditch that one out of the way and put this one on. And the light back up here, shining. So we're losing not an impressive amount of oil at all. It's no big deal. Okay, so there's contact, and typically what they tell you is to go, you know, up to 3/4 of a turn more. The instructions with the KandP here say to go 18 to 20 foot-pounds. That seems like an awful lot to me. I'm just going to snug it about a half to about a half to maybe 3/4 of a turn tighter, and check it. There's this is the wrench that came with it now. That's as tight as I'm going right there. I think it's more than adequate. Alright, so let's see what we lost. That's it. That's all we lost. So, yeah, doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. So, alright. You might notice, I don't know if you'll see it in the video, that there's some shiny looking stuff there. This pan, I didn't wipe this pan out ahead of time, and I do steel fabrication and welding in here, and so undoubtedly this pan is contaminated. You see shiny stuff all over where the oil isn't, so that didn't come out of my motor. Alright, hold tight, and we'll see here in a minute. We'll give it a, I'm going to put a little more oil in, and then we'll give it a start, and there it is, right there, on there, ready to go. Sweet. Okay, I scraped my oil pan out there, and it looks to me like the level is about 1/3 of a cup. That's about what we lost. So I think I'm going to put a half a cup of oil back in, just to make up for what may be left in the residual in the filter that I pulled off. And I'll give it a little splash beyond 1/3 of a cup, and that should be right where I was before. And I like to run right in the middle of the operating window on the dipstick. I don't like to be right at the full mark because it's too easy to overfill these Thunderstroke 111 motors. They overfill. The difference between low and overfill isn't very much. So I'm going to go with about a half a cup or a little more, and that's what I'm going to put back. And I'd say that's pretty good right there. As you can see down here, I lifted my bike. I put it on the motorcycle jack just so it was sitting, you know, straight up and down. So I'm going to add that oil, add fresh oil back in. I believe this is this Indian oil. This is OEM. I think it's 1560, if my memory serves me correct. Which is kind of an odd mix. I don't know if it's that way because of the gearbox. That, you know, because the gearbox is lubricated by the same oil. That, by the way, is why you have 2 drain plugs. So I was kind of wondering what that's, why does this motor have 2 drain plugs when every other motor seems to only have 1? That the outermost drain plug actually is there's a baffle in there. So when you pull those drain plugs, the one closest to the center line of the bike, that's the crankcase drain plug. The other one is the gearbox. So that's why this thing has 2 drain plugs. There's a baffle in there between the crankcase and the gearbox, and there's always a certain amount of oil, splash oil, in the gearbox. And when you pull that outer drain plug, you don't get a ton of oil out of that one. That's because it's just draining the residual area, with the splash reservoir in the gearbox. So that's what's going on with that. Okay, so I just put a little over a half a cup back in, and we're good to go then. I'm going to lower it off the lift and give it a start and check for leaks. Like I was saying, I like to cut my filters open and look inside because it tells you, you know, a lot about what's going on in there. God forbid we do this and find a ton of metal. But this is kind of a trick cutter here. It's like a pipe cutter, so it doesn't make any shavings. Fake you out and make you think you got metal. It just has a cutting wheel. Fits big filters and little filters just by moving these 2 things. There's another set of holes here. You can move those up, and it'll do big filters too. So not just these little guys like this one that came off the bike. Okay, so here's what's inside the Indian oil filter, right? So there's the top. Set that aside. It's best to let these drain overnight. There's that little diverter, and there's the paper filter. So that one we just did catches smaller particles than this does with this paper, and it does it 7 times more. It does 7 times the flow. Or this is 1/7 the flow of that new filter. And those guys are stand up. I talked to them at length at their booth and down on LaSalle Street there, and right off of whatever the next street over is. They're on the up and up, man. they're good guys. I can tell just by talking to them. They're definitely on the up and up. They knew what they were talking about. Okay, so I don't see any shiny stuff in this filter at all. I don't see a lot of anything in it. Really, just oil. Yeah, nothing scary. Nothing going on here at all. No shimmery, glimmery, shiny stuff. That's good. Let's look at this part. Just pour that down in there and take a peek inside, and it's the light focused here. So yeah, I don't see any glitter at all. Just oil. It's fairly clean. The Indian oil is kind of dark looking right out of the jug. So yeah, I see a little bit of darker material, but it just looks like, I don't know, maybe carbonized stuff. It's not glittery, it's not shiny. I don't see any glitter. So that looks good. And let's double check this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything here worth writing home about. So, little spring. So this is it here. This is what makes up the Indian filtration right here. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you for now. I'm gonna run this filter, and maybe I'll make another video when it comes time to clean it out. We'll see what it shows. But for the most part, I think we're done here. So have a pleasant day.